Hi, Shelly here. For this week's project, I'm using another one of my Mastersheet papers that I made a few months back, using deli paper to collage onto. Most of what I made, I used gel prints made with deli paper and collaged them onto took scraps and collaged them onto my squares of deli paper. But this particular one, I had some tissue paper that I had painted and stamped on a long time ago. And so I just laid a big sheet onto the 12 by 12. And I really like how these turned out, but I want to try next time collaging onto tissue paper to see if I can get it even thinner. Starting out by cutting them into 3 by 3 squares. And I'm going to be working on a regular covered canvas, I don't know what you call it, just a regular canvas this time. And I have used my scan and cut to cut out a grid here out of 12 by 12 cardstock hooked together with masking tape. So I'm getting kind of an idea of what I want to do here. And then I'm going to decide, you know what, I need to hook all of these together. So I'm going to stop and do that next. It takes me quite a while to get this grid cut and taped to the other one. And so I'll speed the rest of this part up. Turning to my canvas now, I'm going to squeeze out some medium gray and some dark gray, and I'm just going to work those two colors into my background. This is going to be my grout. After I get the canvas covered, I'll go in with a couple of paper towels and tap all over to make my texture even. Now that my canvas is dry, I can lay my grid on top and go in with some off-white paint and a dauber and lay down a template for my squares. This is not easy to do with these thin little pieces of cardstock, but again, I'm not going for perfection here. I want to just have an idea to help visually guide me when I start applying my squares. The inspiration for this project was some tiles I had seen at a home improvement store, and I just thought it was really cool how they kind of collaged these different colors of tile together. So in my version of these tiles, I'm going to take these squares of cardstock. These came out of the grid that I cut out on my scan and cut. I'm separating the smaller pieces from the 3 by 3 pieces, and I'm going to go through and put some different designs on the different papers, try to do a good mix. I've got a couple of stencils out here, and I'm just going to use modeling paste to put a light coat on and make each tile interesting. I'll do the same with my edge pieces. And then last, I'll just use my palette knife to scrape some paste on and tap around to give it just a random texture. When my squares are dry, it's time to come in and clean up some of those areas on the modeling paste. And so what I like to do is I like to use these little flat-edged nippers that I bought off of Amazon. And I'll go around and take off any really high points. And then I can use my little sanding block to lightly, with swirling motions on top, because I'm going to stay on top of the texture and not go down and do any damage to my cards. And I'll also clean up my edges. I looked around online for some different tiles that I like the color of, and I decided on this one. So I'm going to put it up in front of me here on my iPad so I can get to mixing my colors. At first, I'm not really sure what I want to do, but I just decide that, you know, if I don't jump in and get going, I could talk myself out of a lot of things. So I'm just going to jump in and start applying some paint and see how it goes. And you'll see how it starts out, and then how it ends up is oftentimes very different. But that's what I love about the whole process of mixed media, and what makes it so fun for me. It doesn't always turn out to be like I want it to, but in today's case, I was very pleased at how it turned out. So I'm just using a little bit of water to thin out my paint, dabbing on a little here and there, taking some off, putting some more on, and trying the different colors and see what I like. My masterboard sheets take the paint very well, as you can see, and I'm tickled about that. My plan is to have a few more of the neutral tones, the yellowish brown and the brown, and a few less of the blue and the red, so that those colors really pop and stand out on their own. So we'll see how it turns out. Wiping my plate in between the lighter colors and the darker colors. Now you might have noticed I changed my gray into more of a kind of a brown. So I'm going to go and make some more of that. And then I'm going to go through and just touch up my grout to make sure it's all that, and do my edges of the canvas with this kind of brownish gray. Once I've got a little color on all my cards, I'll go back through and put a little edge on each card to finish them off, and then add a little more color here and there, kind of more as a highlight to accentuate. Just trying to make each one interesting and different, but coordinating. I start out using my alligator clip at a pom-pom, but I quickly decide that I'd rather just use my fingers. It works better and it's a lot more fun. adding a bit more yellow into some of these. With everything dry, I'm going through to see how I want to do my arrangement. And this takes me quite a while because I want to make sure I don't have any of the same mandalas next to each other, or my patterns. I want to make sure there's different patterns, that I've got the colors that I want where I want them. And this takes me quite a while to get it like I want it. And then I'll still make some changes as I'm putting them on, I think. But it's a fun process. I enjoy this. I'm going to use matte gel to put my tiles down, and I decide I should start in on one side, go across the side and then across the top, and get them as straight as I can and evenly spaced as I can, and then come back and kind of fine tune. Like I said, it's not perfect, as you're going to see. I get off in a few places and I cut things down too far in a few places, but I'm hoping that my grout line will help me even everything out, and that it all is going to work out okay. Just to be safe, I'm going to put matte gel on the canvas and on the back of the tile. These are very thick, so I'm going to press down and try to really get these stuck down. I'll have to go back in a few spots and on some of the edges and add a little bit more. And you'll see I'll have to move some of these around once I get them stuck down, and I think it's pretty good. Then I realize, oh, I'm way off. So I'll have to, especially in the beginning, I have to lift a few off and make some adjustments. But once I get the top and a couple of rows here on the side lined out, it goes much, much better. I let everything dry overnight, and then I'm going to come in with a brush and my grayish brown and just touch up all those places, any edges that are still white, or any places, as you can see, where my grout line is not quite in the right position. Well, that's my project for this week. I'll give you a close-up kind of from the side and so that you can see my texture. I'm super excited how it turned out. It was a blast to do, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to join me in my next video. Bye for now.